Memorial Day honors those who died in service to our country, but it's also a great time to pause and remember all our family members who are no longer with us, who served in the military. I'm Linda Sattgast with FamilyHistoryHero.com, and today I have a special guest here to tell you the unusual role his grandfather played in World War II. And then we'll finish up with what one woman did to honor her military family, including a POW who spent almost a year in a North Korean prison. My special guest today is my dear husband, Charlie, who has a great story about his grandfather.
Thank you, Linda. My grandfather, Charles Sattgast, was a well-established college president in the early 1940s, but he took a leave of absence in 1943 to take a commission in the U.S. Army as an officer in the Allied military government for occupied territories, which helped provide governmental stability in areas of Europe and the Pacific that were freed from the control of the Axis powers. Here's a picture of my grandfather holding an American flag during the liberation of France. He was attached to the 101st Airborne and continued his way across Europe after the Normandy invasion, through the Battle of the Bulge and on to Germany. But upon his arrival in Austria at the end of the war, he was transferred to the Monuments, Fine Arts, and Archives section, what's now commonly referred to as the Monuments Men. The work of the Monuments Men is truly amazing. It was the first time, probably in human history, that an army intentionally worked to preserve an enemy's cultural monuments and structures, such as churches, and then worked diligently to return stolen works of art and other cultural treasures to their original owners. The Monuments Men were responsible for returning over 5 million items stolen by the Nazis from all over Europe. My grandfather's assignment was cataloging, packaging, and repatriating the Nazi stash in and around Fishhorn Castle in Austria, which included much of the artwork that was stolen from Poland by the Nazis, and the restitution of the Polish National Archives. For this work, he was elected to the lifetime membership in the Warsaw Academy of Science. That's the same honor that was given to famed nuclear physicist Madame Marie Curie. Pretty cool. In 2015, the Monuments Men were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for their amazing work in World War II. I'm proud of the work that my grandfather did during the war. My father and uncle also had interesting World War II stories. My father was a merchant seaman and my uncle was part of the Berlin airlift, and both had great stories that are fascinating for me and I know will be fascinating for my descendants as well. And by the way, if you haven't checked out Robert Edsel's amazing book, The Monuments Men, I encourage you to do it. It's an excellent read. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Charlie. What interesting stories. We're grateful that your dad and grandfather and uncle all came home alive, as did my own father. That wasn't the case for many soldiers, and other soldiers endured months or years as prisoners of war. One woman in our community had a cousin who was a prisoner of war in North Korea for almost a year. It made such a big impact on her that she has researched and gathered the information and photos and memorabilia to write and publish a book about his ordeal, as well as a book about the military service of many members of her family. And I love that she's done that. That's such a great example for all of us. This Memorial Day weekend would be a great time to remember those who served and to document the stories of their military service for future generations. Let me know in the comments below if you have a unique or interesting family military story you'd like to share. We'd love to hear it. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe below and click the bell to receive an email when the next video comes out. I'm Linda Sattgast with FamilyHistoryHero.com, where we show you how to turn boxes of old family photos, slides, and negatives into easy-to-share family stories.